head, heart, hand.
So I'm here with Olga, who is a health coach, and I thought we would talk about learning. So people have to learn all these new things to be healthy. It might be a big change in their life. What type of advice would you give people for completely adapting to new change and learning new things?
Well, I discovered that the most important things that people can do to be healthy and happy is to educate themselves. So what I do, I call Vita Academy, the Academy of Life. And there are 4 H's that are cornerstone of this learning concept.
Okay, oh, that's great. So what are the 4 H's?
The first H is head. So first you upload a lot of information that is maybe logical, brainy, and you get knowledge, you kind of understand things.
Okay, right. So you basically you take in the information and okay, then the next step?
So the next step is to check with yourself if the message that arrived into your head resonates. Do you feel it in your heart?
Wow, that's pretty good. So also you could probably use your heart to see if it's true, right? Like, so intuition, is it something that's believable, if it's something that's true?
Exactly. You can call it gut feeling, intuition, talking to angels. I teach by resonance. Based on that, it's how to raise your intuition to the pretty much brain level and understand yourself. But it's not gut feeling is not an H, so I just stick with heart.
I like that. Okay, so then after the heart, you said it's hand?
Yes. So the third level of learning is experiencing it. So using your hands and bring all this knowledge into your life and see how it works.
All right, so basically put something into practice, right? So use it or lose it. If you don't do it, then you're not going to really know it.
Exactly. Use it and lose it work on all levels. Is there muscles, if you don't lose, goes into atrophy. Same goes for your memory or, anything else in your life.
Oh, wow, that's great. Okay, so then the last one is help?
Yes. So once you understand what to do, you feel that it's the right thing to do, you experience and you saw the positive results, then it's only natural to share your success story and help other people. So for me, the best way to learn is by teaching, by helping.
Oh, wow, that's really nice. So recap, so it's head, you take in the information, heart, you know if it's true or not, like does it resonate with you? Hand, you put it into practice, and then help, you actually give.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, that's some really good advice. Thanks a lot.
Most welcome.
Health coach.
Hello, I'm here with Olga. She's from Russia. Olga, can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, sure. I do a lot of things that concern health and happiness. I am concentrating on modalities that allow you to help yourself. So I do a lot of courses of self-healing. So I have a lot of different alphabet soup after my name, HHP, which is Holistic Health Practitioner, NC, which is Nutritional Counselor. But I like to refer to myself as health coach.
Okay, wow, that's cool. So what's your advice for staying healthy?
Well, I was very excited to find out that while I thought I was studying different modalities, some Oriental healing systems like, Chinese and Ayurvedic and Japanese, and then I thought, I'm studying something totally different in US when I went into American Indian healing systems, or when I was in Russia, we have our own traditions. But then I discovered that all of them, even though they use different words, have something in common. So the deeper you understand the principles, the closer they become. And in the end, they converge into 3 points. So any successful healing system addresses 3 health problems and turn them into 3 healing opportunities.
Wow, that's so interesting. So what are these three principles?
Sure. One of them is toxicity. So what I call toxic is anything that is too much. Even something good can turn into bad when you have too much of it. And toxicity doesn't come in the physical form only. We can have toxic food and air, but we also can have toxic thoughts or toxic emotions. So when I say toxicity, I say that it's on all levels of existence, body, mind, and spirit.
Oh, that's so fascinating. So can you kind of expand on that a little bit more? Give some examples?
Absolutely. When I say that something good can turn into bad, I can give you an example of water. Everybody knows that to drink water is very important, and dehydration causes a lot of diseases, especially nowadays. But if I ask you to drink 20 liters of water, what do you think will happen?
You would get sick, right?
You die. Because the 20 liters of water rushing through your system will wash out all your electrolytes, and you will not be able to sustain life.
Wow, that's yeah. I've read of people actually dying, like on marathons and stuff, because they overhydrate. Actually, that like it can get risky if you drink too much.
Well, if you drink too much of the wrong stuff, because we don't need only water. You know, if you drink distilled water, it's very risky because distilled water is extremely aggressive and acidic. So distilled water, let's reserve it for fountains and cars. It's not for human consumption.
Wow, that's so interesting. So what other tips do you have about, wellness and health?
Well, we just covered one of the roots, which is too much of something, what they call toxicity. But there are two others. So the root number 2 is deficiency, which is a mirror opposite of toxicity. So what are you lacking in? Is it nutrients? What do you need to bring into your life? Maybe it's self-love. Maybe there is a deficit of self-love and acceptance and respect. Or maybe it's a deficit of knowledge.
Wow, that's so interesting. That we're in Bangkok, and that actually reminds me of a time that I was not eating that many vegetables, and I felt really sick. And I was walking in my brain. I felt like my body was talking to me, and it was saying, "Go eat a salad. Like you need to eat a salad immediately." And I went and ate a salad, and I was like 23 years old at the time, and I felt immediately better. And I remember thinking, wow, like my body literally was talking to me, telling me to go eat my vegetables.
Well, I believe that our bodies do it all the time. But if we ignore the voice becomes so low, becomes a little whisper, and then it nearly disappears. And to resolve that problem of not listening to yourself, I actually teach a class on bioresonance that brings the voice back up again.
Oh, that's interesting. So what is bioresonance?
Bioresonance is an umbrella term for a lot of different modalities and how to use vibration, their resonance, their energy, to understand something about the universe or yourself.
Oh, that's fascinating. So you said that we have toxicity and then we have deficiency. What's the third problem?
Well, the third root of pretty much any disease, physical or mental, is stagnation. So when something is stuck, like let's say water doesn't move, it becomes to stink. Yeah, so stagnation is death and movement is life. So it works on cellular level, it works on planetary level, on the level of our whole organism. So everything should circulate. There should be circulation of oxygen, of blood, lymph, of thoughts, emotions. So when you block the flow, it usually manifests as pain. So pain is either stuck or broken flow of energy.
Wow, that's so true. That reminds me of one of my favorite sayings, variety is the spice of life. Like, so basically we always should have some change. We shouldn't always be stuck in a rut, so to speak, and we should be trying to do new things, correct?
Yes, and a lot of my clients in this health coaching business call my approach to diet with a rainbow diet, because I'm all about full spectrum of emotions, full spectrum of nutrients, full spectrum of life.
Oh, that's great. Thanks so much.
The music industry.
All right, so Ben, what do you think about music industry recently?
Recently, actually, I don't really listen to the radio, so I'm not really sure about popular music. But one thing I do is I read a lot about music news.
Oh,
so one thing I've been noticing is with all of these new programs and websites like iTunes, Spotify, the free music,
like YouTube,
YouTube as well. Like sometimes musicians, no one buys CDs anymore.
No.
Right? When was the last time you bought a CD? Do you remember?
I don't even remember. Probably like 10 years ago.
Right. So like with the internet and the increase of everyone having high-speed internet all around the world, I think the industry is changing a lot, especially for musicians and how they get paid.
Yeah.
So
True.
it's interesting in that kind of way. But I think it's a little I think we need to change how we pay musicians, because people can't make money anymore. Used to sell CDs and receive a profit from that, but now people are on YouTube downloading music illegally.
Yes.
Do you remember those programs that people what were they called? Like they're like peer-to-peer downloading software programs. Like I think one of them was called Napster. It was one of the biggest.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was huge. So you would download this. I remember it was about 15 years ago. You would download the program onto your computer and you'd search for something. Let's say Madonna, which was actually my first song that I ever downloaded illegally, was Madonna, because I liked her when I was a kid.
Okay.
Before my punk days.
Right.
And so you type in the name of the artist you want to listen to, and you and all these songs come up that people have placed on the internet.
Right.
And you can download that and you can keep it and listen to it as many times as you want for free.
Yeah.
And you didn't pay I didn't pay Madonna anything.
No.
Right? So in that way, I think the music industry has changed a lot.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's good or bad. Probably bad.
You think?
For artists, I think it's not good.
Yeah.
Especially if they're not as popular. So if they do not have a very big record deal, how are they going to get profit? If there's someone like less popular, someone independent artists, like the lower level, not so popular artists, they don't make money.
No.
Yes.
But I think recently, I think it's a good thing that people sort of can find non-famous singers on YouTube or on internet. I listen to radio, and while I drive, I listen to radio often, and I also listen to music on YouTube. And the other day, accidentally, I found maybe it's not even singer, it's just an ordinary person singing somebody's song. But I thought he is great, and I start listening to his songs, and I subscribe his channel. And in that way, people famous people can become famous, and they can make money, and sort of, in that sense, YouTube or those internet websites or apps kind of gave them opportunity.
That's true. So I think I totally agree with you, and I think that in that way, that's, I guess, YouTube and the internet has helped lesser known artists become exposed,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
So there's exposure with YouTube, right? So there's all these view count, right? So, and you can suggest a YouTube video to a friend, you can share it on your Facebook page.
Yeah.
So definitely in that way, YouTube has totally changed. Have you heard the term go viral? Have you heard that before?
What does that mean?
So go viral means that a video that's put on YouTube gets a lot of hits, a lot of views very, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So it gets seen by a lot of people. So viral, like a virus, right? It spreads through the internet.
Okay.
So there are some unknown artists that started out with just a YouTube video.
Oh.
And that video went viral, right? It received many views, many people saw it. And now they are popular musicians that people know about.
Right, like Justin Bieber, yeah?
You know what? I think you're right. Didn't his parents put him on YouTube when he was a kid?
I guess so, yeah.
I think
that's
something
how
right. So
he started, yeah.
So in that way you can become
A pop star.
a pop star,
Yeah.
right? Just from posting a YouTube video that gets seen.
Right.
High school band.
So I've heard that you were in a band when you were a high school kid.
Yeah, actually, I was. All 4 years I was in high school. I was in actually in a few bands, but I was in one pretty early on when I was a kid. Yeah, me and 4 of my friends.
All right. So did you have a name for your band or bands?
Well, kind of, I guess the serious band I was in, we were called Lucky Number 2. I know it sounds stupid, and I thought it did too, actually. But I came into the band. I was asked to join.
Okay.
I didn't start it.
Right.
They said, "Hey, we need a bass player. Do you play bass?" And I said, "Yeah, I do. I play bass. Why?" And they said, "Well, we need a bass player. So can you come and try out, audition?" And I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Oh, hey, what's the band name?" And they're like, Lucky Number 2. I was like, oh, wow, so lame. But I wanted to play music, so I just went along with it and said, yeah, sure.
Right, so why did they name the band Lucky Number 2?
You know what?
The reason?
I don't think there was a reason. I think at one point, when they were thinking about what to do, they couldn't decide on something, so they just decided something and just went with it. They said, okay, we're going to decide this and we're going to do it. So I don't know, Lucky Number 2. Yeah.
Right. So what kind of music did you used to play?
So it was like punk music.
Okay.
So yeah, and which actually at the time was not very popular among young people in my town. So
I mean, I'm not really a big fan of music. I don't really know anything about music. So what's punk music like?
What's punk music like? Well, our band was like, so we had 2 guitar players, a bass player and a drummer, and one of the guitar players sang too. So punk music is fast. It's fast, and the drums are also fast, and the vocals are usually kind of yelling or screaming in a way. And not always, but sometimes bands are political, right?
Right.
So we had a political, I don't know how you would say, but at that time it was 2008.
Yeah.
And, or 2000, sorry, that's wrong, 2004. And, President Bush was George Bush was the president.
Yes.
And, we didn't like him. We were kind of on the other side. And so a lot of our songs were kind of politically driven. So our lyrics were about
criticizing
anti-president lyrics, like that. I don't know. It's kind of funny because one of our songs actually, because the American flag is red, white, and blue, the colors. So one of our songs was called Red, White, Black, and Blue, like a bruise. And so it's kind of, I don't know, we were angsty and it was, I don't know. That's how I would describe punk music at that time.
Right.
Fast, politically driven lyrics and screaming vocals.
Yeah. Sorry to ask stupid questions, but
no, go ahead.
So the guitar that you used to use, it's that one that sort of connect to the amplifiers.
Yes,
not like acoustic guitar.
No. Everyone played electric, loud music. Yeah.
Loud music.
Yeah, very loud guitars.
Okay. Why did you like punk music?
Well, I don't know. I was a high school student, and I was angry about life and my parents. I didn't really get along with my parents, and so it was a good outlet for me, a way to express myself outside of school, and so it was very useful in that way. That's
Did you
why I
did
liked
you
it.
have did you have a chance to sort of perform in public or?
Yeah, it's funny because we thought, you know what, we're this is when you're 15 years old, you can't really think too far ahead in
Yeah.
the future. But we thought, we're gonna be popular. People are gonna like this, and we're gonna get big, and maybe we don't have to go to college. Maybe we can just play music for the rest of our lives. But yeah, no. Back to your question. Sorry, we did play. We probably played a show, as we would call it, or like we would play at different venues around different live houses around in our town.
Oh, cool.
Probably like twice a month.
All right.
We'd sell tickets. I'd go, actually, like we'd make a flyer, and I would go to the top of the stairwell in the
Yeah.
high school, and I would take all these flyers and just throw them down the stairs, just have the flyers. I don't know. It sounds funny to talk about it now, but yeah. So we played like twice a month for about 3 years.
Wow. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
used to make money from that then?
I don't know about money, but we did make enough to pay for our CDs that we would record.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So no, it wasn't profitable in any way. It was just fun. And I met so many different people from being in a band, so it was really, really nice. Socially, it was really good for, I think, a high school student like myself.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for asking.